under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back.
Woo! Give it up!
Slower.
No ban, no
This
wall.
march is getting underway here.
All.
It's getting underway here in downtown Minneapolis. Hundreds of people flood into the streets here in a scene that we have now seen play out again and again in these 2 months that the Trump administration has been occupying this city and has been directly targeting a blue city and a blue state and targeting immigrant populations or first, second generation born Americans, populations like the Somali community targeted for clearly racist reasons. And this is the response. Hundreds taking to the streets here. And I'm looking around and I want to note that what I'm seeing here is a number of independent journalists who are out here to cover this, ourselves included, as we have been since early December with only a couple of breaks. But we have been on the ground here since early December. But what I'm not seeing are those national outlets that we had seen during those days right after Renee Good's killing. The story has faded somewhat, and so has apparently the national media's interest. Their resources are not here. I'll also note that I do not see any of the local television cameras here to even feature these hundreds of voices that are taking to the streets here in Minneapolis. But we are here. We were here for the weeks before Renee Good's killing, and we will be here for at least the next week, and we take it day by day here at Status Quo. But when we commit to a story, we really commit. We stay here on the ground and cover what these people are saying, lifting up the voices of people in crowds like this, hear from them themselves about how they feel about the Trump administration centering its immigration crackdown on this city. If you support that work, that sustained on-the-ground journalism that we do, please go to statusquo.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to help support our efforts. And when I say our, I'm talking about myself, John, our small team here at Status Quo that we do to punch above our weight. We just got John back yesterday for his short break. He just got back earlier today. I got in yesterday. And we want to thank Will and Zach, who held down the fort for us while we were taking that break. Back home to be with family for a few days. But we are back here because we believe this story is important, and we want to cover and lift up these voices. So in just a moment, I will go into this crowd and interview some of them. But I did want to make that pitch to you that the best thing you can do to support the work that we do here at Status Quo is going to statusquo.com/join, and for as low as $5 a month, supporting us. The things that we use that money for is to afford our hotel rooms, afford food. Today, what we did is we bought, I guess I can't show you, they're inside my gloves, but we bought hand warmers. I've got foot warmers on. This that you see here around my head, this balaclava was purchased to keep myself warm in the frigid temperatures that we are expecting in the days ahead here, because it is January in Minnesota, but that hasn't stopped the Trump administration from victimizing this community, and it has not stopped these people from taking to the streets. John, I'm going to go find somebody to interview.
Down with JD Vance. Up with the people. Down with ICE. No ban, no wall. Sanctuary for all.
Would you mind if I interviewed you about why you came out today?
Donald Trump, let's be clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
I'm a reporter. Would you mind?
Donald Trump, let's be clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Donald Trump, let's be clear.
Let's get in more.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Pardon me, I'm a reporter.
Please,
Would you mind if I interviewed you about why you came out today?
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah. This is my cameraman, John. We'll walk with you so you guys don't have to stop marching. Can I first get you to just spell your name for me?
Yeah, my name's Ashley, Ashley Van Duze Arts.
Ashley, thank you very much for talking to us here today. It's single digit temperatures. What made you want to come out despite the cold today, and what was the message you came to deliver?
I am out here for my two kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old at home. They are two boys who I want to be proud of where they grow up. And we have a lot of community here. We have a lot of family, and we want to fight to protect it.
Want to fight to protect it. You're talking about your two children. I'm a new father myself. So thank you. But seeing what happened, what's happening here in the country right now certainly gives me pause about the future that my child might be growing up with. Is anything of what's happening in the community right now registering with your kids? And if so, how are you explaining what's happening to them?
Yeah, my children joined us for their first protest at the No Kings event a few months ago. They are seeing what is happening in their community by hearing that their friends are scared or that their teachers are scared, and they want to take care of our earth. My son was born the night of the fires in Minneapolis when George Floyd was murdered. And so this is not a new feeling to us. We want to raise our children with the education, knowing what is happening, not sugarcoating it, so that they're prepared to fight for the same future we want for them.
How does it make you feel as a parent, that this is registering for them, that they aren't able to just have that carefree childhood that they probably should have? I mean, what's the emotions that come up in you when you think and see them grappling with these problems that are happening around them in their world?
Yeah, it's unsettling to the nervous system, right? I mean, I think the greatest hope that I have for my kids is that they can learn how to feel calm, that they can learn how to feel a part of something bigger than themselves. I don't have religion to fall back on. I have people, I have love, and the support that is being shown in my community across cities, Twin Cities, Minneapolis. I was born in Woodbury. I spent some time in Menominee, Wisconsin. This is where we want our kids to be, is Minneapolis and St. Paul. The people here are built different, but it is a fear. It is a real fear, and so we have to be brave as fuck.
Speaking of that being a part of something bigger than yourself, when you're in a crowd like this, hundreds of your fellow Twin Cities area residents who are coming together to speak with one voice like this, how does it feel?
I mean, it is one of the only soothing things to do right now, aside from completely distract myself. Some days I choose that, and some days I choose to come out, and I think we need a good mix of both.
Today it was being reported that the Trump administration is going to serve subpoenas to Attorney General Keith Ellison, Governor Tim Walz, and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. What's your reaction? I mean, do you feel like the Justice Department and the justice system is being weaponized?
I think Donald Trump is a child. I think that he is I think he's bummed out that people aren't supporting him the way he wants to be. I think he's reacting in a way that's absolutely absurd, to be holding our government officials under some sort of contempt of justice here. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, our governor and Jacob Frey and now Quali Hur, they're doing their very best to make sure that their city knows that they'll stand behind them, and that's exactly what they should be doing.
The president today, during a press conference, said that he is telling his immigration officials to relax or to temper the tactics that they are using in places like Minneapolis. As somebody who lives here, are you feeling that at all? Does it feel like the federal government has relaxed itself in any way?
The only thing that has changed as far as I've seen reported at the Whipple building is that they're not bringing their machine guns out anymore. But that doesn't mean that they've stopped any of their chemical irritants. That doesn't mean they're not going to cause another man to become blinded by sending pieces of shrapnel and plastic flying all over the place. It is a war zone, I believe, as reported by the New York Times, the closest thing to a civil war that they've seen. So I don't think we're going in the right direction. The right direction would be getting ICE out of Minneapolis.
Is there, and that's what this entire movement here is to call for. But I think it has to be said that the president has done, maybe even unintentionally, a pretty masterful job of getting stories like the Epstein files and the state of the economy out of the news by putting the suffering of Minneapolis on the front page of outlets like the New York Times. Do you see what's happening here in Minneapolis as a distraction from the Trump administration's other myriad of scandals?
Absolutely. I think anything that's distracting from the fact that this man should not be in office, that he is completely putting himself above the law, all his own personal interests going above the law, making sure that his pocketbook is flush with coin. It's just absolutely ridiculous what's happening. Of course, we're going to get attention because Minneapolis will not be silenced, but it is a distraction from getting this man out of the office of the president of the United States. It's absurd that this has happened again. And the fact that our neighbors have voted him in a second term is crushing to me as an American and a Minnesotan.
We've heard multiple calls here during this demonstration for, on Friday the 23rd, what amounts to a general strike here in Minneapolis and Minnesota as a way to push back against the Trump administration and send a powerful message of unanimity of action here in the state. Do you plan to participate on Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. This was a 2-day plan. I reached out to my employer last week, let them know that I wasn't going to be in the office, asked for their support, received it. And yeah, I will be out here again on Friday, January 23rd, supporting my neighbors.
So, I mean, that's kind of remarkable that you also got, the nominal support of your employer as part of that. Is one day enough in your mind to be able to send an adequate message to the Trump administration?
I think the thing that's helpful about a single day is that it can really help to bring the community together, focus their intention on a day, really show the mass of people. Now, one day isn't enough for us all to heal from the torment and torture that we've experienced in these neighborhoods, but it is something to see that we are all together in this.
Ashley, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would want to add while you had the platform?
I would just say happy birthday to MLK Jr. And I think that, it's not just about the immigrants in our community. It's about every single individual in this country experiencing equality, and the billionaires need to equalize our experience.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Ashley, I appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Let's get back to it. Just one voice there, a mother who you heard talking about, a mother there where you hear talking about her children's experience here in the Twin Cities area. Young boys who still, despite their young age, have to wrestle with the fact that the president is directly targeting their communities, making their friends, making their teachers afraid, that fear breaking through to them. And that's something that is an experience that is being echoed all across the city, all across this state, and in other cities that the Trump administration has directly targeted. That's just one voice. And then you see the hundreds upon hundreds of people that are out here, and you start to think about all of their reasoning for being out here. Whether that be because they have kids who are suffering, or be it because they themselves are worried about being directly targeted, or having family members who are being directly targeted, or in some way being victimized by this administration and the crackdown that it is carrying out, potentially fearing that deployment of troops that the president is apparently making those early steps to do in a more readied state, telling it to potentially deploy, be prepared to potentially deploy here to Minneapolis. We're taking a quick break here just so that we can warm ourselves up as much as we can. We've got hand warmers out here today, something that we did not have last night. We've got extra layers that we are wearing, but the cold out here still takes a toll. So we have to we have to take those breaks for ourselves. We have to take those breaks for ourselves when possible to be able to be sure that we are being safe as we bring you these scenes of what is happening out here. And there, we're able to get a pretty decent look at the size of this crowd here as it makes its way through the streets on what is a Tuesday night. The number of people who come out in the Tuesday night cold here in the Twin Cities to make their voices heard. And a common theme that we have heard out here from people that we talk to is the way that they feel like they are being kind of pushed into a corner, so to speak, being set up to being turned into a pressure cooker situation that will in some way eventually lead to the use of the Insurrection Act through any incident that might happen, the continued application of pressure here in the Twin Cities area until something happens, until eventually enough friction, somebody makes a bad decision or an accident happens that eventually gives the president some sort of basis to use the Insurrection Act to put American soldiers on an American city's streets as a way to enact control of that city.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo.
And if us doing this work here out in the cold is of value to you, please go to statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to help us afford more hand warmers and go to help us stay out here in the streets and talk to these people, lift up voices like the one that you just heard, and the more that we will hear from here in just a moment.
Allá el pueblo vencerá.
You just let me know.
Strike, strike, strike! Strike, strike, strike! It is our duty, it is our right! It is our duty, it is our right! Strike, strike, strike! Strike, strike, strike! It is our duty, it is our right! It is our duty, it is our right! Strike, strike, strike! Strike, strike, strike!
You hear them there. The chant is, it is our duty, it is our right, strike, 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 being the response from the. That is a rally to action for this Friday, while today was a national walkout that was planned as a way to protest the Trump administration. Here in the state of Minnesota, labor unions and other organizations had been coming together for a day, what they're calling a day of action, but what in effect amounts to a general strike. What in effect amounts to a general strike, calling for no work, no school, no shopping, no economic activity. Anything that needs to happen should go to local businesses first, as a way of demonstrating against the Trump administration that they have a collective voice and a collective power that has not yet been realized or employed against this administration. And so we are making plans to be here and report on that general strike and the effects that it has and the participation to the extent that we can measure it. I'll note that come this Friday, the high in the temperature out here is right now being forecast at negative 10 degrees. That's without the wind chill. And there's plans for a march that day as well at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been trying to talk to some of the organizers and see how the cold will affect their plans. As of right now, that march is going ahead. And there's even more actions planned for this Friday as well that we will be reporting on that day. So if you want to follow along to see how the Twin Cities area, the state of Minnesota stands up and tries to make its voice heard through the actions of a general strike, please get subscribed to ourselves here at Status Quo and to our partners at the Midas Touch Network, who I, of course, cannot thank enough for the platform and the support that they give us to be able to report out here in the Twin Cities area. Please get subscribed to us so that you can see that coverage as it comes out. We do both live reports like this near daily. We try to do them daily from the streets here in Minneapolis because there are daily actions happening against the Trump administration. Don't fall prey to the administration's propaganda where it wants to claim, as the president did today in his press conference. Don't fall prey to these ideas that what is happening here is just a few malcontents or paid agitators, as the president alleged today in a press conference. It is hundreds upon thousands. We've even been at demonstrations with tens of thousands of people taking to the streets here in the Twin Cities area. So not only do we broadcast from these on a daily basis, but we also do a prepackaged or edited and recorded reports. We're doing some more tomorrow where we will spend the morning riding along with some people who are doing watching of ICE and other immigration agents as they're out in the communities. We'll be doing a ride along with some of them, and we edit those and we put them out on our YouTube channel. So please get subscribed so you can see those reports as we release them. Are you good if we do Yeah, okay. Let's try and get to the front. There's that pink shirt. We're going back into the crowd here to get another interview. I see someone who is dressed in a pink shark costume that I want to try and talk to. Of course, these inflatable costumes have become a bit of a symbol out here for these demonstrations. Become a symbol of nonviolence and to try and make any response of violence from the federal government or from local authorities look absurd, to try and show that these demonstrations are not violent in their intent. We're waiting here because there's quite a buildup of ice here along the roads as well. So I'm waiting for a break in this ice before John and I dance back over. We're walking on the sidewalk right now before we dance back over to the road to talk to Pink Shark here.
Tell them to get out of our city. I'm from Minneapolis.
What's your name?
My name is Joshua McMillan.
All right,
and there is a fear in this city. People are canceling recovery groups. People that are in addiction that need recovery. People are scared to go out. I'm having friends sending me their locations that are minorities because they're worried that ICE is going to come and take them. Good working, positive people. And we're all in fear. City has been shut down quite a bit. There's been nobody out on the streets until now. And the fear that ICE is causing. I was out in the Whipple building, and all the people from different states, it feels like we're being invaded.
Joshua raises a good point there. We have focused a lot in our coverage, and probably rightly so, on the direct harm that the Trump administration is causing through its immigration agenda out here, the ripping apart of families, the tearing apart of communities, and the way that they disappear people off the street. But Joshua, you're raising a good point to the indirect harm that is caused through the fear in people, to the point where like things like addiction support groups are not meeting. What is that indirect harm that is then being caused? And it's not. I'm assuming when you're saying like when you think about like like that schools are offering remote learning right now because children are scared that addiction support groups are not meeting. We have heard, and you have heard on our broadcast from people who have said that they are doctors whose patients are not coming in for cancer treatments, as we just heard the other night.
Minnesota is a good state, and there's a reason why they say it's Minnesota nice. We care about our people. We are not aggressive, but when they come and they're backing us in the corner, what do you expect? We can't trust our federal government. Who can we trust? We can't even trust our police right now.
When you say, what do you expect? What do you feel like is the reaction that's merited here from the Twin Cities? What is left to you for recourse when you do feel backed into a corner?
It feels like right now that the people are being backed in a corner because we are being invaded on our state, and we are being backed. People are isolated. People are not out and about, and we're tired of it. What can we do? The people that we elect, why are they not defending us right now? We feel betrayed here.
Feeling betrayed by their own elected officials for not doing enough to resist what is happening here in the Twin Cities area.
This is people's life, and right now it's all about partisan politics. And right now you don't play politics when it comes to people's lives.
Joshua, some of those leaders, Mayor Jacob Frey, Governor Tim Walz, Deputy Attorney General Keith Ellison, it's being reported, are going to be served subpoenas by the Trump administration for their resistance against the Trump administration. When you hear that, what's your reaction?
Partisan politics. They're playing politics when it's coming to people's lives. That's what it's doing. Mayor Frey said it very politely, but very few. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Joshua, thank you very much for your time. Is there anything else you would want to add?
ICE, get the fuck out of Minnesota. Minnesota is a great state. We love our people, and we're out here peacefully protesting. We are not doing any harm, but power to the people.
Joshua, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, John, I can give you a break here a little bit.
With the wind chill, it's negative.
Oh, is it? So I want to stress something here. I want to stress something here that it is cold out. It's not quite as cold as it was last night, but it is cold here. My nose is continuously running. I'm wearing more layers than I was last night. I've got the hand warmers in, the feet warmers in. I've got ski pants over my regular pants, over thermals. Up top, I'm wearing 4 layers right now. And on my head, I've got a hat that's over top of a balaclava. That's what we have to wear just to still be out here and feel cold on top of what we're doing. And if you think what I'm doing looks tough or dangerous, and I saw people in our chat last night who were very concerned for my well-being, and I thank you for being so, but I promise we don't push ourselves further than we feel we need to get the story here at Status Code. We do value our own personal safety, but everything I'm doing, John's doing behind the camera, walking backwards, and he's constantly got one of his hands gripping our cold metal tripod, and he already had a brush with frostbite in some of our ICE coverage and their raids that they were doing out in the suburbs of Minnesota last month. Because again, this story did not start with the killing of Renee Nicole Good earlier this month. Operation Metro Surge has been going on here since early December, and we have been on the ground here for weeks. But that's why we're taking a break. We're taking these long breaks in between in between our interviews here is just to give John a chance to get his hands warm, to be able to set the camera down here like he is now and get his hands warm, because otherwise he's got them both out gripping it. And I can tell you, just my one hand that's gripping the microphone gets cold, and that's why you'll see me switch the microphone between my hands. And this is a lot less than what John is doing over there. So we have to be very careful with him and be very sensitive to his needs. And the protests have paused here, and so we're going to set up the tripod a little bit, and I'm just going to listen in on some of the speeches that are happening here while we give John's hands a break so that he can get warm.
Because it is. All right.
Right now, the protesters have actually arrived outside of a hotel. Have arrived outside of a hotel here as I try to figure out which one it is, but they've arrived outside of a hotel here in downtown Minneapolis, where
and the relaxed band of Ojibwe,
where they believe that the some ICE agents either have stayed or are staying right now.
We said no. All the ICE agents got a letter that said, "You are no longer welcome here." Yeah. ICE is no longer welcome in any of these hotels, and people know that. We want everybody to know you are not welcome here, ICE. Get out. Hey, ICE. Get out. Hey, ICE. Get out. Hey, ICE. Get out. Hey, ICE.
So you hear there what the protesters are doing. They're making all of this noise outside of these hotels because they have seen success in the agitation, in the direct confrontation with businesses here that are doing business with federal agents, or that they suspect of doing business with federal agents, sending that message that these agents are not welcome here, stop doing business with them. And some of those hotels have actually sent messages to the federal government or canceled reservations for ICE and other immigration enforcement agents out here. John, just checking in with you. How are your hands doing? Are you good for another interview? All right, we'll do another short one here. I want to find Pink Shark here, since I had promised that just a minute ago. Pink Shark talking to another photographer here. Excuse me, Pink Shark. My name's JT. I'm a reporter. Do you mind if I interview you for a moment?
I can't speak that well.
Can't speak that well. Okay.
It's hard to hear in here.
Hard to hear in there. Okay. That's understandable, but do you mind if we try it for a few questions?
Go for it.
Okay. I wanted to first ask about the costume. Why did you want to come to this demonstration dressed as a pink shark?
I think the situation is absurd, so I felt it natural to respond with my own absurdity. I think absurdism is a natural foil to fascism because it can't be wrapped into a fascist narrative. And it just makes people smile. That's me.
In what ways do you feel this situation is absurd?
I mean, people being taken out of their homes who've lived here for decades. A restaurant in my hometown, like an hour away from here, had to close down because they're afraid to go to work. I mean, that's absurd. A woman being killed in her car is absurd. So,
I mean, another point of absurdity here, I'd say, is also just how some of this is being covered in the media, or rather maybe what's not being covered in the press is, and maybe there are some issues that you want to raise here, but one that I want to bring up is the fact that the issues like the Epstein files have now, it seems, fully disappeared from the headlines, and it's all centered on Minnesota. I'm curious if, as part of that absurdity, it is as brutal as the crackdown is here. Do you feel like all of that brutality is a distraction for the Trump administration?
absolutely. I mean, in one way, this is pushing another front of theirs. So I don't believe it's a full distraction. It's just another narrative to push away a different one. Too many people were focusing on the wrong thing, so got to target the vulnerable again.
So one way that the Twin Cities is trying to push back, or organizations, people are trying to push back here in the Twin Cities area, is with this planned what amounts to a general strike on Friday. Do you plan to participate?
Oh, hell yeah.
And if so, how?
I'm going to be here with a buddy of mine, also in a shark costume. Same way, just showing up, making our presence known, drawing attention to ourselves, of course. I think that's another big part of this is just the attention it draws to the whole cause.
Do you feel like a one-day general strike, is it sufficient to send a message to the Trump administration?
I feel like it's a good start, but I think we need to go further.
What would further look like to you? Like, what do you feel like is needed in this moment?
I don't know if I'm smart enough to answer that.
I get it. You're just one pink shark, and maybe it's unfair of me to ask you to have the answers to all of the problems facing the world right now. I did want to ask you about your sign here. It says, ICE has killed 4 times as many people as sharks in the last year. ICE out of our water. I mean, I'm just curious, is that based on like statistics that you've looked up here?
Yes. I'm actually a big fan of marine biology as well as amphibians, reptiles. And so I know one of the biggest stigma is like, oh God, I would hate to end up with a shark. That's not what you have to worry about. What you have to worry about is the people invading your town right now. Throw away those irrational fears. There's something to do right now about, like, there is something you should be afraid of, and there's something you should be doing about it.
Of that danger that your sign lays out there. As the days go on from Renee Good's killing, I think it's easy for press to ignore or to begin to forget about that brutal killing that happened here in the Twin Cities area. To forget about Renee Good's death, it's something that I want to be sure we continue to center here. As these days go on, how do you continue to keep her memory or that loss that the Twin Cities area has suffered centered in your own actions and activities and protests that you're doing out here?
It's important to keep the victim's name in mind. I feel like that's the name that's more important than anybody else's. I'm going to be so honest, I didn't hear the full question.
That's totally fair. I was just asking how you intend to try and keep Renee's like essentially her experience, that loss, how you keep it centered in yourself and not allow that to be lost amidst everything else that's happening.
Keep showing up. I mean, keep moving forward. There has to be a solution or some sort of some sort of resolution to the fact that like this disturbing crime happened here.
Pink Shark, you've been remarkably patient with me. I'll just end by asking, is there anything else that you would want to add?
Fuck ICE. Get out of our town.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time. What'd you say?
No! Justice! I love your work, man. Justice! No!
Justice! No! Justice! Uh-oh, the trees are gonna cook us.
We'll get out of here.
Demonstrations looks like returning to where they began here in downtown Minneapolis. So it seems like the march part of this demonstration is over, which I think is welcome news for John's hands. So it means he can set the tripod down and to breathe some hot air over them here and clutch his hand warmers a little bit tighter. But you heard there from just a few voices that we were able to showcase there during that march, people who are still crying out for action, that they feel like it is insufficient action, whether that be in the president saying that he has, nominally told his immigration enforcement officials to, in some nebulous way, relax the ways that they are, or the tactics that they are using here in the streets. And so far, the only discernible way that at least one person we talked to said was, I guess they're not bringing fully automatic weapons out in front of protesters outside of the federal building, just outside of Minneapolis, but otherwise feeling like the reign of terror continues here in the Minneapolis area, or whether that be essentially inaction from their elected leaders, while at the same time those leaders are being charged for their supposed resistance to the Trump administration. These leaders who these folks out here feel like are not doing enough, but are still getting charged for that inaction. So why not get caught trying and actually doing something to support these people, and then, getting investigated anyway, as it seems the Trump administration is wont to do, weaponizing the justice system and the Justice Department against their political enemies. And then, of course, you also heard there from that pink shark who stood up and said that they want to bring a sense of absurdity to the protest to highlight the absurdity of what is happening here. A federal government that is occupying its own country, that is being deployed to cities and states that oppose the president politically. So therefore they get a heel ground into their backs as they are shoved to the ground, literally, by agents of that federal government, a paramilitary force with a budget of billions that's been deployed here. If being able to hear these voices and tell it like it is, the way we do here on Status Coup, please go to statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to keep us truly editorially independent. There is no corporate sponsorship. There is no corporate sponsorship to what we're saying here. You don't have to worry about me being sponsored by Big Pharma or us, pussyfooting around, maybe losing some sponsorship. So me pulling back on the rhetoric or on the observations that we are making out here. I don't have to worry about that. I'm not beholden to any partisan interests. I get to come out here and just lift up the voices of the people who actually live in places like this, despite the cold. We do this here in all weather conditions, to the point where it is 3 degrees here with the wind chill. And hopefully you might be getting a sense of that as I'm continuously wiping my nose and sniffing. My nose is just running. My cheeks are stinging from the cold. I bought this today with the generous support of our members. Thank you. You went to afford this lovely Hannibal Lecter-esque mask for me. That actually helps me keep my face warm so I can continue to talk effectively. This rally is still going, so we're going to go up there and listen into it here as it continues. But right before I do that, I do want to just make one more call for you. Please go to statuscoup.com/join. If you can't do that, please get subscribed to ourselves and our partners at the Midas Touch Network, who help lift up our reporting. We both would very much appreciate it. Be able to support our reporting and be notified when we do other live reports that we're doing, sometimes multiple times daily, and to see our pre-recorded and edited reports that we put out on our YouTube channels as well and on our social medias. And short of that, please also like and share these streams so that others see and hear from the people actually here on the ground in the Twin Cities, and that they're not just hearing the propaganda of the Trump administration. Careful. Very slippery here on the ground.
Statewide shutdown on January 23rd.
Pardon me, folks.
But we need help getting the word out. So we have volunteer outreach happening every day, different shifts at University Baptist Church leading up to the 23rd. Are you going to make it out there? We also have nightly organizing meetings at Baptist Church, University Baptist Church at 6 p.m. every day. Are you going to be there? Yeah! All right, let's make the statewide shutdown on the 23rd big. Let's make it huge. Let's make it known that we demand ICE out. All right. This is where our march ends tonight, folks, but a big shout out to the marshals tonight for keeping us safe. And we'll see you all on the 23rd, 2 p.m. at Commons Park. Thanks, everyone. ICE out!
Getting up here, climbing to the top of a hill so we can look out and show you this crowd as this demonstration starts to break apart here in these last moments. I'm going to try and find some organizers here to talk to about their plans for the coming week, some of the organizing that they're doing here on the ground, and their preparations that they are making for that general strike that is coming up here at the end of the week on the 23rd. So bear with me for just a moment while I find one of those organizers. What's your name, man?
I'm Doug.
Doug? JT. Status quo. My cameraman's right down here, if you don't mind. All right. I am here with Doug from the Party of Socialism and Liberation. Doug, first I just got to be sure, common spelling on Doug?
Yep, common spelling, D-O-U-G.
All right, first I just want to get your reaction to this march. You had many hundreds of people out here despite the single-digit temperatures. At one point we looked and it was 3 degrees out here with the wind chill.
Yeah.
Slight breeze out here. But I just want to get your reaction. How did it feel to have that many people out here in the Minnesota cold to deliver a message of, one, ICE, get out of the Twin Cities, and 2, no troops here on the ground in Minnesota?
Yeah, it was exhilarating. I think that the people have been more and more, the labor unions started the call, but the people are organically ready to stop work, stop school, stop shopping, to shut this city down, to shut this state down, because our families, our neighbors, our friends, they're all getting either kidnapped, hurt, or in some other way affected by this crisis. And I think the troops being deployed here was an added layer of just repression, but also needless, provocation by the Trump administration. So I think everybody realizes that this is an attack on the people. Like this, clearly the troops coming here was an attack on the Minneapolis for standing up. And we're all ready to shut it down.
Yeah, you talk about that, that sort of just groundswell of support, even though that it was labor unions who started the call, that it is just rank and file, everyday people who are coming out and responding to that call for a general strike. I'll say that it is something that in our reporting here on the ground in the Twin Cities, but before that, in Charlotte, in Chicago, in all of these cities that we have been reporting from, that have been victimized by the Trump administration, by these immigration crackdowns where these paramilitary forces are going into their neighborhoods and tearing people apart. We had heard calls for, I want to be a part of a general strike, of some kind of economic action.
Sure.
So I'm when you heard finally that it seemed like unions and other organizations were going to take a leadership role and actually start calling for something official, what was, just on a personal level, what was your personal reaction to that news?
I think it's incredible. It's heartening because I'm a union member. I work for the state of Minnesota, and seeing that unions recognizing that their members are under attack, and that the communities that their members live within and reside in are also under attack. I think it's extremely heartening. And I'm grateful that the unions began the call. And I think that the people rising up also makes me really grateful. So I'm full of love and full of energy right now.
It's been I think now a couple of weeks, or at least more than a week, since that call for the general strike was first initiated, and the date was picked on the calendar of the 23rd for this action to commence. It seems like we've got some very cold weather in store for that day that might, temper what can be done on an actual action level out in the streets, where you're talking about a high of -10. But what are your hopes for the day? What do you want to see from your fellow Minnesotans?
Yeah, I mean, all of us can participate in whatever way we can for the strike. So I encourage you to reach out to your communities, to get connected to a rapid response network or to an organization. If you're not, a member of a union, obviously, if you're a member of a union, then you should consult with them and see what guidance that they have. But even if you're a business owner or somebody that operates, that works, there's a way that you can participate in the strike. So yeah, come talk to us. You can follow us at PSL Twin Cities. But we are here to support the strike, and we're here to fight. Something as monumental as a general strike takes a lot of organizing work. What, if any, work is PSL doing in the lead up to the general strike to try and help with that organizing? Yeah, I mean, we are supporting the labor movement. Many of us are in labor. And also, we are doing a lot of outreach with businesses. You can check out our Instagram page. We have been talking with many, many businesses across the Twin Cities to, talk through what a general strike looks like, talk through how to shut down, what shutting down looks like, and also publicize the fact that so many of these businesses are shutting down because their bottom line is already getting cut. And, you know, a lot of these businesses have faced many like financial issues, logistical issues, operational issues because of the ICE operation. You know, for some, it might seem like it's a big expense to shut down for a day, but at the same time, the bigger expense is ICE being in our cities and terrorizing us.
So is one day enough? Is that enough to send a message? Is that enough to accomplish what you would hope to accomplish with a general strike?
One day is a start. I think we need to show the world that this is possible in America. America, you know, the United States, we're seeing an upsurge of activity when it comes to fighting back against this Trump administration. They're trying everything. They're trying to cut our SNAP benefits. They're trying to go to war with all these different countries. They're bombing Trump has bombed the most countries out of any president ever. And they're trying all these things, but we're still rising up. And I think that Minneapolis is going to be the spark for a larger movement. And I hope that people listening from other places around the country and around the world start to realize that, you know, if you're an American, you can fight back.
We're now exactly 1 year into the Trump administration. And at least for myself, it really put into perspective the 3 years that still lie ahead. When you're talking about this is the spark or this is the start, I mean, are you thinking already about longer term organizing, about, you know, what might need to be done if the Trump administration continues to escalate the terror that it's inflicting on cities like Minneapolis?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fight is going to continue. I think we need to steamroll these general strikes across the country. And I think we also need to realize that, you know, we have to get organized. We have to get connected with each other before, you know, things start to escalate even more. Trump is trying to normalize these troops on the streets. As a soldier, as a former soldier, as a veteran, I cannot fathom how the vast majority of us think that this militarization of our streets is normal. So we need to get connected to each other, build some trust in our communities, and fight back.
I want you to put yourself back in the shoes of when you were serving. Sure. If you had been asked to deploy to an American city, what would have been going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think as someone who is trained to, you know, maneuver troops on the battlefields to you know, destroy enemies and things like that, if I were deployed, the first question is, who is the enemy? What is the situation? What does the friendly forces situation look like? What does the enemy forces situation looks like? What does the terrain look like? I can't think of a scenario where the enemy is not the U.S. people. And as a soldier, you don't want the U.S. people to be your enemy. That doesn't make any sense. And I think a lot of soldiers are going to be soldiers, Marines, airmen, whatever, you know, sailors, etc. They're going to be questioning this because the logic of the military is fighting the enemy. And what other enemy is there? It's got to be the U.S. and that doesn't make any sense. And we shouldn't be fighting ourselves. We should be defying illegal orders. We should be rising up, and we should be fighting back.
The Trump administration has proven, I mean, even if you know, some of these soldiers were to, you know, defy illegal orders, I mean, the Trump administration has already shown zero tolerance for that kind of rhetoric, going after Democrats for doing something as simple as just stating what is, you know, military policy in defying illegal orders, but also now weaponizing the Justice Department against some of the local leaders here in Minnesota. First, Mayor Jacob Frey, Governor Tim Walz, and Attorney General Keith Ellison are all reportedly going to be subpoenaed as part of investigations by the Trump administration. When you hear that, one, do you think that kind of action is warranted? Have they done enough to warrant some sort of federal investigation? Like, have they done enough in your mind to resist the Trump administration to the point that the Trump administration even should be looking to launch investigations into their political enemies?
I don't think Keith Ellison, you know, Jacob Frey, Tim Walz, I don't think they've done anything to warrant like an arrest. I don't think it makes any sense. It sounds to me like what the Trump administration did to President Maduro in Venezuela. It's very fabricated. It's a lot of manufactured consent. And I do think that, you know, there's nothing to like
there's nothing to lose for these Democrats that are in power to take a stronger stance in fighting against the Trump administration and telling soldiers, federal soldiers even, that, we should be protecting the people of Minnesota. We shouldn't be fighting them.
Doug, I want to end just by talking about putting things into perspective a little bit and on a national level, because I think it can be so easy to get hyper focused on the latest incidents of violence that's being carried out here in the streets of the Twin Cities, right? But to zoom out and put it into perspective, something that I haven't really heard covered in the national news of late is the topic of the Epstein files. Do you feel like the violence that's being carried out here in the Twin Cities is in any way a distraction by the Trump administration? I get that it's crass to maybe say that the violence that your city is facing is even implying that it is a distraction. I'm just curious, as somebody who lives here, do you see it that way?
Certainly not. I do think that the Epstein files is definitely, I'm not an investigator. I haven't read a ton about it, but I can say that it's definitely probably a huge component of what Trump's calculus is right now. But I do think as well, I don't want to discount the power of the people. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think Minneapolis rising up, the state of Minnesota rising up to fight ICE. I think Trump, may or may not have a vendetta against this state. And I think that it's very convenient that he's here and that he's fighting here, the people of the state of Minnesota. And I do think that, while the Epstein files are, probably a huge component of what Trump is thinking about when he's attacking us, I don't think it's a distraction. Yeah.
So I want to end here by bringing it back to the organizing that you're doing.
Sure.
You're doing this organizing in response to a federal government that has functionally limitless resources, billions of dollars that they have thrown at ICE and the Department of Homeland Security. How much organizing capacity do you have or resolve do you have within yourself personally? Does PSL have? Do your partner organizations have? Do you feel like you have the fortitude to go the distance here over perhaps another 3 years of the Trump administration, if not more time, depending on how the president wants to handle elections going forward? Do you feel like you have the resolve and the wherewithal to meet that limitless funnel of money and violence out of the federal government?
Yeah, I personally feel like I have faith in the people of this country, but also of my city, of Minneapolis, that, we won't stand for this. And we're going to show the world, we're going to show the rest of the United States that we have the power to fight back, because, our labor is the power that makes this country run. The economy wouldn't function if we stopped working. And therefore, the party is here to help build that movement. We're here to gas people up. We're here to motivate. We're here to agitate, but we're not the people. The people are the ones who have the power.
Doug, I've made it so you were the last one standing here in the square. So thank you for your patience and being here with us. I appreciate the time, and I'll let you get going.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
the time.
Yeah,
Really.
of course.
All right. Okay. And this is normally where I would pivot to go into ask somebody else to interview, but they've all dissipated. They've all gone home, and I think it's understandable because it's 3 degrees out here. John's hands were freezing there during the march. If you've been following along with us, you saw us there taking those breaks where we were letting the march kind of go past us just so John can warm up his hands inside of his coat. My face is feeling rather cold. I should probably pull my mask up here, but since I'm just saying goodnight here for the evening, I'll let you gaze upon my pretty face for just a few more minutes before I put it away. But I want to make one last call. If you're not, get subscribed to Status Coup and our partners, the Midas Touch Network, who support our reporting. A big thank you to them. Big thank you to our entire team. In order to support that team that we're trying to grow right now, it's John and I who are on the ground, and we've got our small but mighty team who support us from back home, who do things like edit our videos together, who are doing journalism in their own right. They're out there. They're supporting us through administrative work and all the work that they're doing. We're trying to grow our team, so it's not just John and I until we, are near collapsing.
Union City Board of Commissioners meeting. That's what I'm here for.
I have a board of education employee sitting right behind you.
So if they were in a supermarket, if I go to a supermarket,
You're different.
no, but I just no, I'm not going to be in violation, but I don't think I am. but I will leave. I'm telling you this now. But what if I went to a supermarket?
I'll answer your question.
Right. What if I went to a supermarket and one of them was there?
I'm not a judge. I didn't make the order. I just want to do the right thing right now. To be fair, you can stay.
And this is on. No one can turn this off. The entire thing is locked. Okay. You have your keys? Here. Just gonna get his keys. Okay. The same difference. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Where'd my mic go? And all right. And before that.
Rejected from the meeting.
And I am leaving the meeting now. They are forcing me to go out. You can explain why I take the other mic.
So he has a no contact order from a criminal case. A no contact order and a restraining order are two different things, right? So restraining order prohibits you from being certain distance away from a person, but a no contact order specifically is no contact. So incidental contact, for example, running into someone in a supermarket or at a public meeting, as long as he didn't make any attempts to speak to them, to engage with them, even look at them for that matter, point a camera at them. He didn't do any of those things, but he's being removed anyway for a quote unquote no contact order for any Board of Education employee, which is bizarre because you can have Board of Education employees anywhere and everywhere. And I think the way to keep them out of this meeting is just simply have a Board of Education employee at every single meeting. That doesn't apply to me, so I'm going to do my thing, and we're still going to handle our business the way we need to handle our business. But as you can see, he's specifically being targeted. Leroy's being targeted to silence him because he didn't engage with any Board of Education employees. Incidental contact is a completely different thing. Being in the same area as someone it's not a restraining order. It's a no contact order. He didn't attempt to speak to a Board of Education employee. He didn't attempt to ask him any questions, to even greet them, say hello, or anything. He was completely minding his business. So we'll see how that gets worked out. He did do the right thing and exit in the spirit of cooperation and to play it safe. So, we don't want anyone getting arrested for some nonsense. And I think Captain Bergbauer was professional as well, the way he handled it. But, that's why you got me. It's why you got other people that we don't have any no contact orders or anything like that. So we'll still say what we got to say, and we'll still expose what we have to expose, and our voices will still be heard. What's up, everybody in the chat? Yeah, it's a nonsense order, but at some point it'll be cleared. I think we should just have more people attending the meetings instead. That they're not going to let him be here. I think we should fill the room with 10, 20 people. So hit me up, and I think that's what we're going to do next time. It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke because you're chilling free speech, right? So they're going to have a Board of Education employee at every one of these meetings from now on, right? And that's their way of silencing him. But this is going to be very challenging. Now that I got both of these things, you'll help me out though. And in Union City, by the way, everyone works for the Board of Education. Everyone associated with Brian Stack has a job at the Board of Education. He gives them away like, flyers on election day. Truth is, we anticipated that they were probably going to try to do that, so it's not a surprise at all. We were talking about that on the way in, that they were going to try that. So. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Yeah, if you want to donate to the Give, Send, Go, it'd be appreciated. That's for the legal fund. Hopefully, we'll get our 5 minutes to speak. Everything will be peaceful and copacetic, and then we go about our business. Leroy's in the building, not literally, but figuratively in the chat. What's up, Leroy? So I was just telling them that we figured that we anticipated they might pull that. We did do the research about a no contact order, which is different than a restraining order. So he didn't make any contact with any Board of Education employees. You just did. But but this is not a Board of Education building. So as long as he doesn't go in any of those classrooms. Yeah, no, we're not trying to go there. You did the right thing too. Yeah, I know. I think Lieutenant Gaston broke this one.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a regular public meeting of the Union City Board of Commissioners being held on Tuesday, January 20, 2026, at 7 p.m. at the St. Anthony School at 700 Central Avenue, Union City. This meeting has been called in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting was forwarded to the Burton Record and the Star Ledger, has been posted on the bulletin board in City Hall, and has been made available to the public in the office of the municipal clerk. Commissioner Fernandez? Here. Commissioner Bouillon? Here. Commissioner Valdivia? Here. Commissioner Marnetti? Here. Mayor Sam?
Here.
First item on the agenda is approving the previous meeting minutes for the January 6, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. May I have a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Marnetti. Second, Commissioner Valdivia. Commissioner Fernandez? Yes. Commissioner Bouillon? Yes. Commissioner Valdivia?
Yes.
Commissioner Marnetti? Yes. Mayor Sam?
Yes.
The second items are the consent agenda. There are 43 items on the consent agenda. Can you please review if anyone has an objection? You can remove it and add it to the regular meeting. On item 34, Commissioner Fernandez will recuse. On line item 36, Commissioner Martinetti will recuse. If there's anyone wishing to comment on the consent agenda, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
We'll pass.
May I have a motion? Motion made by Mayor Pat. Second, Commissioner Valdivia. Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon? Yes. Commissioner Valdivia? Yes. Commissioner Martinetti? Yes. Mayor Zach?
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve all items?
It's public comment at the end of the meeting.
Second, Commissioner Fernandez. Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon? Yes. Commissioner Valdivia?
Yes.
Commissioner Martinetti? Mayor Zach?
Yes.
There are two ordinances for hearing and adoption and consideration. The first ordinance is ordinance of prohibition of the sale of dogs and cats by retail pet stores until May 1st, 2026.
Anyone wishing to comment on this ordinance at this time, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, we can motion to close.
Second made by Mayor Zach, second Commissioner Martinetti. Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon? Yes. Commissioner Valdivia?
Yes.
Commissioner Martinetti? Yes. Mayor Zach, may I have a motion to adopt? Motion, Commissioner Martinetti, second by Mayor Zach. Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon? Yes. Commissioner Valdivia?
Yes.
Commissioner Martinetti? Yes. Mayor Zach.
Yes.
Second ordinance is an ordinance of the city of Union City, and the county of Hudson, New Jersey, guaranteeing a portion of bonds and or notes of the Hudson County Improvement Authority, and authorizing the guarantee agreement, if costs relating to certain fire and rescue services provided by the North Hudson Regional Fire and Rescue. Commissioner Martinelli will recuse from this ordinance. May I have Mayor Moschino? Motion made by Mayor Sapp, second. Commissioner Fernandez, Commissioner Fernandez. Yes. Commissioner Bouillon. Yes. Commissioner Valdivia.
Yes.
Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
May I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Motion made by Mayor Sapp. Second. Commissioner Valdivia. Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon. Yes. Commissioner Valdivia.
Yes.
Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
We now have the liquor license hearing.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. For the record, Mayor Gonzalez, GON, CAOC, on behalf of the New York City ABC Commission. On the calendar today, we have 4 matters. I'd like to go over them out of order. The first matter is Central Garden, here represented by Mr. Kinkin on, he's here. We have a potential resolution, we just need a little more time. The second matter is,
Just on Central, resolution this evening.
this evening, I just want to wait a little bit, it might be able to resolve it.
Sure, you got it.
So I just want to go out a little bit. The second matter is El Lusco Bar and Restaurant, they're located at 2118 Bourbon Lane Avenue. They have just retained Christopher Campos. He sent a letter of representation to my office, I forwarded to him Discovery. We will be having a meeting, a pre-meeting next week where he said he would be present to see if we can resolve that. So I would.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to adjourn then.
Motion made by Mayor Sapp, second. Commissioner Valdivia. Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon. Yes. Commissioner Valdivia.
Yes.
Commissioner Martinelli. Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
The third matter is Taqueria El Paso located at 3715 Bourbon Line Avenue. They're here. And if we could just have the interpreter come up and be sworn to the meeting interpreter. Good evening.
To swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, not just the facts, but the truth and the testimony you're about to give.
Yes, I do.
And you can state something.
Guillermo Martínez, Spanish interpreter. Thank you.
Thank you. Your mom is not going to represent. Could you just place your name on the record, please? And what is your position at the, you're the owner, okay. And you understand what you're charged with, it has to do with camera violations, okay? And you actually have come to see us at a plea meeting, and you provided us certain information, is that correct? What we'd like to do is to confirm that the matter has been corrected. Lieutenant Dunley is here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna send a representative from the police department out to check to make sure that that's been corrected. This is really the best thing, is we want them working. And they're aware of that, so if we could just adjourn this to the next hearing, I would respectfully request that. We'll have a better grasp. If it's been fixed, we'll resolve it.
That would be fine. So we'll adjourn.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second made by Mayor Sapp, second by Commissioner Martinelli, Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
Commissioner Bouillon. Yes. Commissioner Valdivia.
Yes.
Commissioner Martinelli. Yes. Mayor Sapp.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so. The next matter we have is Los Laureles Liquors. They're located at 4625 Broadway. The owner is present. Just please state your name for the record. Okay. You understand the charges that have been presented against you, is that correct? Yes. And you've been served with them? Yes. And you understand that over 40 charges for violations of selling after hours? You understand that? Yes. And you've explained to me that you wish to retain an attorney? Yes. I think under the circumstances, since we served them with over 40 violations, and would be seeking a suspension, most likely about 180 days minimum. He's asked that if you can get an attorney, I think it would be appropriate because it's going to be a substantial impact. We have a lot of proofs, we have videos, we have investigations from the police department. So I think it's probably appropriate to get an attorney. So it should be adjourned, and I believe he knows that we'll be having a plea meeting sometime next week that he should attend with an attorney by that time. If the next hearing, you're not present with an attorney, we will proceed without. Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn for the Next statement, Mr. Gonzalez advises.
Motion by Mayor Sexton, second by Commissioner Fernandez. Commissioner Fernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Leon? Yes. Commissioner Lafayette?
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez? Yes. Mayor Sexton?
Yes.
Okay, if we could just go back to our central bar, Mr. Picanano was here. We have a potential resolution, but this point has been tied up and is running late. I don't want to delay this anymore and have everybody have to sit here. If we have a resolution, we can put it through at the next hearing, so I think it would be appropriate to adjourn tonight. Is that fair to say, Mr. Picanano?
That's fine. We'll put it on for the next hearing. No, and I apologize. No problem. No problem. I'll make a motion to adjourn for the next hearing. Yes. Yes.
That concludes all the ABC.
Thank you very much. Anyone wishing to comment at this time, please step forward. State
Yeah,
your name
go.
and address for the record.
Morning, Commissioners and Mayor. Mr. Mayor, just back over there, ask you a question. I don't know if you know who I am, I'm just like, I used to be a resident here in East. I'm no longer a resident here in East.
I didn't hear your name. I'm sorry.
My name is Michael Torres. I used to be a resident here in Union City. I'm no longer a resident here in Union City. I went to the public schools here. I don't know if you remember who I am, but I am the gentleman that got sexually exposed by Eddie Marinas. I want to know what's going on with that outcome of Eddie Marinas, of him being in working in the Board of Education due to the outcome of all the stuff that's been going on. You see my face, I am here now, okay? My question also is, since the fact of Eddie Marinas did what he did to me in Emerson at Roosevelt Stadium, there's no outcome. I went to the DA, I went to everybody, they told me it's statute of limitations. So for me to know from you, what is the outcome for Eddie Marinas? And please look at me, because your last meeting, you looked down, I just want you to look at me, like professional that you are.
So I know what you're talking about looking down, I'm looking directly at you.
Okay.
You have litigation pending, sir?
Yes, I do.
Have your attorney handle that with the attorneys for the Board of Education?
You want me to handle it with my attorneys, but I'm asking you personally.
You have litigation pending right now against the city and the Board of Education. Your attorney should be in trouble.
Okay.
Thank
Now,
you.
is anybody gonna handle it though? Is he still gonna be in the schools? That's all I know. With kids? That's all I know, Mr. Staff.
Sir, have your attorney contact the Board of
Okay,
Education.
so you dismiss me.
I'm not dismissing you, sir. Have your attorney contact the Board. You should be advised by your counsel. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to
Yes.
comment at this time, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Excuse me. You can start my time. I'm David Snow of the Exposure Report. I'm here tonight because what's happening in Union City is not governance. It's not leadership, it's a cover-up, and children are at the center of it. I, along with Leroy Truth, an investigative journalist, interviewed Jonathan Almeida, a Union City High School class of 2002 graduate, who came forward publicly as an alleged survivor of Edwin Marinas, a Union City assistant principal and teacher. Since that interview aired, something very revealing happened. Not one person in power has denied the allegations. Not the mayor, not the board, not the superintendent, Sylvia Abato, not one state declaring innocence, not one explanation to the public. Instead, what followed was retaliation against the people exposing the allegations. Let me be precise. After the interview, Leroy Truth attempted to conduct routine business at the Board of Education building. He was locked out of a public building during business hours. Twice, Union City Police had to force security to let him in. One officer even advised him correctly that if he had information involving student safety, he should raise it during public comment. So he did the very next day. And what happened? He was locked out again. Police again had to intervene. He was the only speaker signed up. And while he was speaking, trying to warn the board and Superintendent Abato about allegations that Edwin Marinas engaged in sexual misconduct with students over decades, including exposing himself to children as young as 7, he was constantly interrupted. Then he was told he could not continue because the topic was not on the agenda. Let me say that again. Child safety was ruled out of order. And then, without committing any crime, Union City Police forcibly removed him mid-public comment. No arrest, no charges, just shoved out like garbage. A man trying to protect children from an alleged sexual predator, and this is how your administration treated him. Then, when there were only 67 seconds left in his public comment time at the next meeting, here in this building, Mayor Stack shut the entire meeting down. So let me ask you directly, what are you so afraid of hearing? If these allegations are false, why silence the speaker? Why have him thrown out today? Why cancel meetings? Why never defend Edwin Marinas publicly? Why never say this is not true? Silence is not neutrality, silence is protection. And it didn't stop there. After Superintendent Nabato refused to return calls to schedule a meeting, Leroy Truth returned peacefully to the Board of Education during business hours to file open requests and again request a meeting. Once again, locked out. Once again, police had to intervene. Then, without cause, Officer Glenn Gaston went hands-on. No crime, no threat. Video shows Officer Gaston releasing his own grip, intentionally falling backward and yelling, "Aggravated assault," a complete setup. Leroy Truth was arrested, taken to county jail, incarcerated for 36 hours, falsely charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, despite video evidence proving it never happened. And by the way, the officer who falsely accused Leroy Truth of aggravated assault, whose name is Lieutenant Glenn Gaston, happens to be on the Brady Giglio list and is also the same officer found responsible for the death of an innocent man in his custody, which resulted in a $2.5 million payout that Union City did to the family. And here's the most disturbing part. When Leroy Truth was forcibly removed from a Board of Education meeting earlier, he was not arrested at all. Yet days later, he discovered he'd been criminally charged anyway, trespassing, resisting police, and disrupting a public meeting for speaking during his public comment time. That's not law enforcement, that's retaliation through prosecution. So let's be clear tonight. An alleged predator remains protected. A superintendent refuses to meet. Meetings are shut down. Journalists are silenced, arrested, and charged. Mayor Stack, if these allegations are false, say it. If Edwin Marinas is innocent, defend him publicly. If you believe children are safe, explain why you refuse to suspend him pending an investigation. Because history teaches us this: scandals don't destroy institutions, the cover-ups do. And once the truth is spoken in public, it does not go back in. Thank you.
Just before we go, I'd just like to apologize. It's not often that I'm late to the commission. I'd like to apologize for being late to the commission. Thank you very much.
He'll apologize for being late, but not apologize for defending sexual predators that he has working around our school children. How about apologize for that? It's not the only thing he's late about. How many people here care about the children in Union City Public Schools? Once again, removed from a public meeting to prevent him from speaking the truth. And not a word about the children, not a word about the alleged sexual predators, not one word. Not he didn't do it, not he's innocent, not we protect our children. Silence. He apologizes for being late. Disgusting. It's crickets. Aren't we supposed to protect our children? You had a man here tell Brian Stack to his face that Edwin Marinas exposed himself to him when he was a student, and his advice was, handle it with your lawyer, not, my God, we're going to investigate this. We're gonna remove him pending an investigation. Nothing, silence, crickets. If it was your child in school, would you want them to attend these public schools? I certainly wouldn't. This is the man that's supposed to be the mayor of this city, and he knows everything that goes on here. It's the reason he hasn't denied it is because he already knows. He hasn't publicly said he didn't do it because he knows he did do it. All right, brother. You have a good night, all right?
You too, man.
All right. You owe me dinner, by the way. What's up, bro? Keeping us safe? All right, shout out to you. Stay warm. It's okay. You too. This is what I got going on right now. Holding two cameras right now. That was interesting. He didn't say, not at one point, he didn't say, it's not true. Just say it's not true. Why wouldn't you say it's not true? If someone accused me of that, I would come out and say it's not true. Very interesting. Just call your lawyer. Call your lawyer. The man came out face to face, spoke with him.
Sorry, I left you. I was too heated.
Nah, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Now do. Leroy, here you go.
You're good. You can come out the car.
You can come out the car. Leroy.
Right, hold on here. Okay.
Oh, by the way, there's 4 classrooms in there that are leased to the Board of Education, but you didn't go in those classrooms.
No, and I had no idea of that whatsoever in a trillion years. Mike.
Doesn't matter.
No.
You didn't violate a no contact order.
No, but no one said I couldn't go to a school either.
Listen, this is the attempt to.
That's
this is
where-
the attempt to silence.
That's
Yeah.
where I told. Like I said, that's why they brought who they brought.
Right.
They brought who.
Can you hold this for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna get
I
my.
mean, it's a smart way to silence it.
Oh yeah.
Look at this shit.
I got more battery if you need it. All right, so hold on, ladies and gentlemen, be right back. Just gotta get all zipped up here.
Look at my wire.
What the heck? Actually, no, it doesn't look bad, is it? Is it?
No, this is supposed to have a whole piece over it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what dropped out.
Yeah.
I picked something
Oh,
up.
you did?
Yeah.
What was the other half?
That's the only thing I saw.
All right. It's all right.
I've heard it
I'm
drop.
gonna buy a new one.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna turn this off anyway. We'll keep going on your.
yeah, okay, so we're gonna go live. We're not gonna be out here long because it's cold as when people say cold as hell, I don't know why they say that because hell is not cold, really.
New York and Jersey.
So,
Mad Britain.
so I was removed from this meeting because corrupt Mayor Brian Stack is afraid of the truth. This gentleman here, Michael Torres, 2006 graduate of Union City Schools, an alleged victim of Edwin Marinas, assistant principal, former football coach, and teacher of Union City Schools, is still teaching right now. He's still going to Union City School every single day. And Stack has refused for like probably 6 weeks now. This gentleman, plus Jonathan Almeida, courageously came forward. The allegations that Edwin Marinas would allegedly expose himself to them. And I've got numerous others who have come forward, and not publicly yet, and they're considering that. And I've been told that Edwin Marinas had allegedly exposed himself to the little ones as young as 7 for decades, allegedly, and he is still teaching. And that's why Stack did not want me speaking, to continue to expose the allegations and to attempt to protect the children. I mean, this is absolutely insane.
You know you're wrong, Stack. You know you're wrong.
Oh yeah, well, Stack's known. I mean, he covers up everything. He's been, and the thing
Marinas
is,
too. Marinas too. Listen, I ain't gonna keep my mouth shut. I don't got no gag order. I don't got no restraint. And I listen, for all you Union City PD, I'm not scared of you. I don't do crime. I don't do nothing. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm just a truck driver making my money. But guess what? At the end of the day, you're gonna see all the BS that comes out of Union City and the officials. And one day, all you's gonna wake up and smell the coffee and stand up for your rights in Union City.
I mean, the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
Right. So There's no facts ain't defamation, as our friend likes to say.
Hold this.
Yeah, facts are not defamation. The truth is the truth. So don't even bother with them.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not one denial, not one it didn't happen, it's not true. Just silence, crickets, or go see your lawyer, which is okay, whatever.
But can you believe that? For over 6 weeks,
Yeah.
Mayor Stack has never said that Michael Torres or Jonathan Almeida are lying.
And
Mayor
they've made every attempt to silence you
Right.
while you try to talk about it.
Yeah. The Board of
Listen, I don't
Education,
care about lawyers.
but
I
but
don't care.
the Board of Education and Sylvia Abato, the superintendent, have never said that Mike Torres or Jonathan Almeida are lying. They've never defended Ed Marinez, and most importantly, why hasn't Ed Marinez? This is a question, general question to the public, ever denied?
You have a good night.
Hey, good night. And why hasn't Edward Marinez ever denied these allegations? Again, I've never said they're true. They're allegations. I'm a journalist. I don't make allegations. I simply report them. But I know if someone I knew was accused of something like this, if they were innocent, they would have been immediately screaming to the rafters. They would have gotten attorneys and made sure that the alleged victims, couldn't speak publicly. None of that's happened. Someone accused of all these crimes never said it didn't happen. So it's just, I'm just asking questions.
And I want to say, like I said before, Marinez, this ain't a show. This is not an act. This is real life stuff. Between the cops, the city officials, everybody that's covering up. That's covering up all this stuff. I'm not gonna stop my silence. I'm not gonna stop what I want to say, and that's it. At the end of the day, I don't want to stop talking. I'm not gonna stop talking. And that's it. My cousin, him too. I saw him today. And you know what? It's a shame that you don't care about your family, your own family. You can't come to your family down in law enforcement. Okay? My cousin, Glenn Gaston. That's for you, puppy. Because you're supposed to be my cousin, my family, my blood, and my everything. But don't even go and check up on me. You know what? The man that's in my urn, in his urn, living his best life right now, or in God's hands, that's the one that protected me, not my own cousin.
How many people have to come forward? How many former students of Edwin Marinez have to come forward in person here at a meeting, live on camera, a full name, face out in the open, not just some secret contact. You know who they are. It's very verifiable that they went to these schools, played for these teams. How many people have to come forward before Union City does something to protect the children here? How many people have to come forward before they say, wait, we need to seriously investigate this. We could put them on administrative leave, paid administrative leave, and protect our children until we come to a finding? How many? Wouldn't one be enough?
In any other community, one is enough.
Yeah.
Because again, he deserves due process, because every man and woman in the United States of America deserves due process, no matter how heinous the allegations. That's one of the things that does make our country great. So Edwin Marinez should be put on administrative leave, not allowed to come to work. He is going to work every day. He's went to work today, I was told. He's going to go to work
He's
tomorrow.
allowed to be around the children to go to work, but you're not allowed to speak at a public meeting because someone from the Board of Education is in the room.
Yeah.
Right.
Make that make sense.
I had no idea, any of that.
You're banned from the schools.
Right. But the person who's alleged to have exposed himself to students and alleged to engage in escort students as young as 9th grade for decades still gets to go to the schools.
Like I want to say,
We're living in backwards world, people.
when they do sexual misconduct on an officer or a corrections officer or any type of law enforcement, they automatically get them out of the street. They suspend them without pay.
With one allegation.
With one allegation. It don't matter if you remember you're wearing a badge. I take it from me from a law enforcement standpoint that you wear a uniform, you wear a badge. You're gonna get hemmed up, meaning like you're gonna get caught. They're gonna, take you out of the job and they're gonna suspend you. New York City cops don't, and everybody else in law enforcement know that if that happened to them, they'll be in prison. They'll be locked up. I don't know what Eddie Marinez is doing. I don't know what Eddie Marinez is doing to Brian Stack. I don't know if they're in cahoots with each other like all the time, but he needs to be out of schools. He needs to be out of schools. If he's doing the same thing he did to me and Jonathan Almeida and whoever and everybody, he's got to be out of schools.
Right,
That's it.
absolutely. And there's many more graduates who have come forward to me, and at this point privately. You were the first two to come publicly. So there's many more that have come forward. And here's the thing. Stack has been covering up for alleged S predators for decades. Most recently, there was a man who is a male police dispatcher in Union City Schools. This happened maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. He was caught by a female police dispatcher in police headquarters enjoying himself, speaking in code, in front of this female police officer, enjoying the full spectrum of himself, shall we say, publicly at work. And then he went into the female restroom where another female police dispatcher found him enjoying the full spectrum of himself, shall we say. What happened? They complained to the supervisors there. This is in Union City Police Department. They looked at the video. They saw video. Yes, he was enjoying himself in front of these two female police dispatchers. Was he arrested? No. Was he charged? No. Was he transferred? Yes. Oh, where is he working now? According to the sources, he's working in Union City Schools right now. Allegedly, Stack had him transferred to Union City Schools.
That's where I would want him.
He was just caught. I've spoken with some of the victims. This is insane. This is what he does. He transfers them to a school with children. And I believe it's an elementary school. And what's the school? Is it Edison School Elementary?
Robert Waters. He taught in Robert Waters.
No, but this new guy. It was just found to have been enjoying himself publicly in front of these two female police dispatchers. He commits crimes allegedly at police headquarters with 50 police officers around there, and he doesn't get charged. He doesn't get arrested, but he does get transferred to Union City Schools to work with children. What's your take on that?
It's Bizarro World, right? I got a mic here. I'm mic'd up. It's Bizarro World. Yeah, the last place I would want someone who.
Oh, good catch.
All right, so someone who doesn't have the self-control to not enjoy themselves at work as a law enforcement officer, right? It's the police dispatcher. You have no self-control of your physical behavior. That's the last place that I would want them, or in schools around children.
But do you understand what we're talking about? This guy was caught.
Yeah, he was caught, and he was fired, right?
No, he was
suspended.
He was removed from that position and given a new position, allegedly, in Union City Schools.
So let's get him out of here because he can't be trusted around. He can't be trusted around adults.
Right.
And let's put him near children.
And he was just caught on video.
Yeah.
Stack has got to be investigated and indicted. He's the one who's covering up for all these people. And one last thing before we go, it's freeze down here. And this is public record. This is in media. There was a female student, and she was attending Union City Schools. And it's a few years ago. And she came forward and said that a teacher named Francisco Mike Realpe, Realpe, this is all public record, you can look it online. She claimed that he had graped her. Grapes. You understand? I got to speak in code here. Grapes. That he had grapes with her. Was he arrested? Was there an investigation? No. Instead, sources close to the family told me that they allege, these are all allegations, they allege Mayor Brian Stack contacted this child's parents and offered the child's parents jobs in Union City, probably the Board of Education, if they would keep their mouths shut. And they took the jobs, I understand. That teacher, Mike Realpe, Francisco Mike Realpe, was then allowed to resign quietly. No charges. Grapes of wrath. He then went to teach in Jersey City schools. You can look this up online. Because Mayor Stack allegedly protected him, personally allegedly, this teacher went on to teach in Jersey City schools where he assaulted new female students. Then he was arrested. Jersey City did the right thing. And he actually went to jail. And then it was found out about this young woman. Her name is Jessica Garcia. Maybe in her 30s now. Jessica Garcia. It's all public record. And he was found guilty. Did he go to jail for 15, 20, 30 years? No. He went to jail for a year and a half. Year and a half. However, Jessica Garcia wants to sue the Board of Education for protecting him. And a judge this past year said, yes, she can sue the Board of Education for protecting that predator. It is sick. And there's more cover-ups. So there's another teacher who was found to be engaged in having with students. He got 0 jail time. Only after Project Veritas exposed what's going on. He got probation. Other people would get 10, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So last thoughts before we go. And I want to celebrate Mike Torres here. Because, courageous man coming forward, speaking at the meeting with his allegation directly against Edwin Martinez, assistant principal, who is going to school tomorrow. You're going to go tomorrow? You're going to go, check in, get paid. That's sick with these allegations. You've got to be suspended.
He's got to take accountability.
They got to be suspended for an abundance of caution. Okay, go ahead.
He's got to take accountability for his actions. Martinez has to be accountable for all the things he did. And everybody else doesn't understand, what I'm coming out with. I'm coming out to save another child from being predatized by him. He thinks it's a joke. Everybody thinks it's a joke. The Board of Education, Mayor Stack, everybody thinks it's a joke. Like, he dismissed me. Okay, dismissed me. You saying that, I got a lawyer. I don't care about nothing but the kids. Like, my family, I don't care about what anybody says. I'm doing what's right for other people's kids. I'm doing what's right for other children that don't have to wake up at night trying to kill themselves and unalive themselves, not trying to hurt themselves, not trying to take drugs because of predators like Martinez. And I don't care if Martinez sees me in the streets or sees me, because you know what? I'm still holding my head up high. I'm still doing me. But like I said, just want the kids safe in Union City.
Amen, brother. God bless Mike Torres. Brave, courageous alleged victim of Edwin Martinez came to expose what he alleges happened. And no one cared. No one came up to him and asked him, are you okay? Can we help you? That's terrible. No one, including Stack. And every single Board of Commissioners member. Last words, David.
This is a failure on the part of the system, right? The system here led by Mayor Brian Stack, Sylvia Botto. I have no doubt in my mind that they're most likely aware of this. That's why they haven't denied any of these allegations, because they can't. But they also haven't done their part to safeguard the children. You can accomplish two things at the same time. You can give the man his due process and safeguard the children. But there's no desire to do that. I don't know what Edwin has on him. I don't know what the situation is, the story, why he doesn't care enough about the children to, out of an abundance of caution, to relieve him from his duty. It can't be that important or irreplaceable. There's a lot of qualified people to do these jobs, at least in the interim. So, shame on you, Mayor Stack. Shame on you, Sylvia Botto. Shame on you, Edwin Martinez. And shout out to the men who came forward, the brave men who came forward, and even the other anonymous people who came forward to us privately that are not ready to go out publicly out of fear of retaliation.
Right.
I mean, we've seen it firsthand. We know it's a reality here in Union City. There is retaliation. They will go to every length to silence you if you make them look bad or expose them in any way. And it's just we have to do better here. And if I was a parent in Union City, I would be rising up at the top of my lungs saying, what the heck is going on here? This is unacceptable. Do something about it.
Right.
So, you know.
And hear what I said, the allegations that Stack allegedly personally called the family of the student who allegedly was GRAPE, grape. Can you believe that? And people should be just like, there's got to be a federal investigation here. Enough. Stack allegedly has proactively covered up for predators in Union City schools for decades. He's been mayor over 25 years. This stops, and we are the only ones trying to stop it here. Also, I've had numerous women come forward who say that he engaged in with them when they were students. Numerous. But they're not ready to come forward publicly.
Not elected mayor. He wasn't elected. He was appointed.
Oh, yeah?
He was appointed. He lost.
It was a coup.
He was an L. He took L's. Nobody wants to go after him because they're afraid of Union City. I wish the people that will come up. I want people to come up. You're not gonna get fired. You're not gonna lose your job. You're not gonna this. You're not gonna that. But come up and speak the truth about your experiences with Union City. That's it. Experiences with Union City. Experiences of sexual assaults. Experience with life things that are going on in Union City. Like at the end of the day, you got kids. If you got your own kids, you want them growing up on this with mental status, with mental things, all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, you don't want to go through what I went through. Listen, I could show you the scars. People. I could show you what I went through. I'm not silencing for Union City, Board of Education, Eddie Marinas, or Mayor Stack. I'm not silencing myself. At the end of the day, you got kids. Focus on your kids. Listen to your kids. I always was told I was a problem child. Well, guess what? I'm not the problem. The problem is the system. The problem is the people that work here. The problem is the PD. The problem is them. At the end of the day, please take care of your kids. Make sure they're doing right. Make sure they're happy.
All right.
Yeah.
It's freezing here, so I want to thank Mike Torres. I want to thank my good friend and colleague, David Snow. And to be continued, we're going to always peacefully, passionately, directly here to protect children. Thanks to Garden State Accountability, AV Design, Scouts of Photo. Please subscribe to all of them, the Exposure Report as well. Yours truly, Leroy Truth. And once the truth is out, you can't put it back in. God bless you all. See you next time.